In this video, we're going to take a look at how to use SharePoint Designer to modify an existing cascading style sheet that's attached to a SharePoint site. In order to do that, of course, we're going to have to make sure that our SharePoint Designer is open to the site that we want to change. And then we're going to go ahead and double-click on an ASPX page to edit. Once the default.aspx page is rendered for editing, you can see that over on the right-hand side there's a Manage Styles tab. And the easiest way to get to the core CSS SharePoint file is through here. We can just go ahead and double-click on a style here, and it's going to open up the CSS file for us in code view. Now, we can use code view to autocomplete our CSS changes. We can start with the background color. Now we can either pick our own color or choose from one of the lists that they give us. In this case, we're going to go ahead and change the background color here to red. Now we can go ahead and go back to the default.aspx and see what our changes look like in real time. So you can see that that background has been changed and that the red is now showing up on the page. So we can switch back over to our core CSS and we can make a change to another style. The easiest way to find the styles specifically that you're looking for is to use Edit and Find, or you can just use Control F. In this case, we want to find the MSWP title style. We're going to go ahead and find the next one, hit close, and you'll see that it's taken us to the WP title style in the core CSS. Now, any changes that are made to the core CSS are going to be reflected across this specific SharePoint site. So we can go ahead here and actually change the color that's being used to white, and we can use again the code view autocomplete to grab a background, and we'll set their background to black. Now that we've set that, we can scroll down just a little bit and we'll see that the MS title has a series of hyperlink styles as well. We'll go ahead and change these to white as well, and it's got a hover style which we're actually going to change to red. Now, if we go again back over to default.aspx, it'll update in real time. And we can see that our web parts have been updated to show a black background with white text. Now, as we go back to the core CSS, we can go ahead and save that. And you'll see that it does warn you about customizing a SharePoint style sheet and lets you know that it will affect all pages on the site. In this case, we're going to go ahead and click No. We're going to cancel out of the change. We're going to close the core CSS and not save our changes. We've gone ahead and refreshed our default.aspx view to get rid of the old CSS changes that we had looked at. And then what we're going to do is actually click on Format, New Style. And what we can actually see is that it's possible to also override these inline on the site itself. So, for instance, we can change the MSWP title on the current page, and we can change the color here to be a blue with a background that's gray. Now we can click OK and apply our changes. And you'll see again that it will update. Now this particular change is saved directly into the ASPX page and therefore only applies to one page on the site as opposed to across the whole site.